Hi everyone from the new Quealy Athletic Center, the Richmond Spiders' new basketball practice facility. We're with University of Richmond women's basketball coach Aaron Roussel, and I would normally say welcome, but Aaron, I'm going to say welcome home to your new facility.
This is fantastic. This is better than we even imagined, and really excited about getting into everything else in this building. But being out here on the court for the last couple of weeks, it's been everything that we wanted it to be.
All right, so what are you seeing from the team out here on this court? And maybe compare it a little bit to what you learned from the first year. You get 15 wins in your first season. How do you evaluate that it will help you with this year's team?
Yeah, I think it was a great building block. You know, I think we had to set that foundation last year, very indebted to that first crew last year. We had a group of older kids that were willing to kind of buy into what we were trying to change. And I think kind of between the attitude and kind of morale of everybody, I think it was a great first step. You know, a very successful season, especially I think people don't understand how tough of a schedule we really did play last year. And, you know, to get to 15 wins, I don't know how much you're always bragging about that, but, you know, that very easily could have been a few more out there. And so I think it was a great step, and I think it's led into what we have right now. You know, this was a really, really tough offseason, as you can imagine, for everybody, but especially for our players. And, you know, the amount of time that it sounds like they put into it, the results that we're seeing out here just in the preseason, you can tell that this is a group that has a really good mindset and did in the offseason as well.
Hard to talk about results before you even start the season, but where are you seeing the most improvement so far?
Yeah, I think when you look at some of the new kids, but also just the returners and how much they've improved. You know, I think our ability to shoot the basketball is very apparent. You know, the scores that we're getting in some of those drills are towering over even what we were doing, especially what we were doing early in the season last year. So I think just our ability to spread the floor, and I think when we've been spaced out, as we get to know each other, putting the ball on the floor, some drive and kick opportunities, and you know, I think as we get to know those guys, I think we're getting a lot more easy baskets than maybe we were, especially at this time in the year last year.
Returners led by Claire Holt and Alex Parson?
Absolutely. You know, and I think Claire just had a tremendous season last year. You know, I think she easily was one of the most improved players in our league. I think her work ethic throughout the season last year allowed her to put herself in some of those positions. And then what she did in the offseason. I mean, physically, she looks different. I'd say the same about Alex. You know, Alex unfortunately had an ankle tweak here that I think will kind of get her back here to start the preseason practice schedule. But both of those, you can tell, just made a real commitment to what they did in the offseason, both physically and on the court. And we're seeing those results. And I think everybody else is really jumping on board, you know. And I think the other thing, too, is their comfort in being a leader on this team. So now our 5 freshmen are coming into this realizing how hard they're supposed to work. They're in the gym a ton, and I think we've seen some rewards from that, but I think we're going to see great results of that throughout the season.
All right, how about those fresh faces? Who can you identify? Who's opened your eyes early on?
All of them, and that's not the coach cop-out answer, man. You know, with all due respect to our returners, because I think that's going to be the key to this is the amount of work and the improvement that our returners did. But obviously, you get 5 new kids. That's almost like 30 your team right there, and they've, you know, seemingly kind of come into this without any real fear. You know, we haven't played any games yet, haven't put them in those situations, but the length that they bring, the shooting ability, and just like the team chemistry that they've been able to kind of jump into has really been enjoyable for us as a staff.
One way or the other, it's going to be a fun year. We look forward to having your team on this practice floor and certainly in the Robins Center.
I appreciate that. We're excited too. Thank you.
Spider head coach Aaron Roussel. From the Quealy Athletic Center, the Richmond Spiders' new basketball practice facility, we are with a couple of the Richmond women's basketball players, senior Alex Parson and junior Claire Holt. Get a preview of the 2021 Richmond Spiders. And ladies, to start that, let me go back to last year, the first with Coach Roussel and his staff. How would you evaluate last year? Alex, I'll start with you as the senior statesperson, particularly as it relates to how you hope to improve this season.
I would definitely say it was a learning experience. You know, we had to put in a bunch of new plays and stuff, and our team, we didn't have as many newcomers. Basically, it was like a whole new team trying to implement a new system and all of that. But I think going on to this year, most of us know how he wants to play. We know his sets and everything now. It's just teaching it to a few young kids who have like really picked it up quite quickly. So.
Claire, how complicated is Coach Roussel's offense? He told us that it can be complicated, but that you guys, particularly the returners, are really starting to get it.
I don't find it that complicated. There's a lot of freedom in it to choose, make your own reads based off of the defense. He doesn't really like predetermining what he wants us to do, so we have the freedom to kind of like play to our strengths through it. With the newcomers, yeah, it can be confusing when you first start getting it, but when it's just a lot of returners and maybe like 1 or 2 freshmen on the court, we can kind of like guide them through it while we're here. But like as of last year, like if none of us knew it and there's 5 of us that don't know it, then we had a problem. But now that we kind of get the hang of it, once you get the hang of it, you do it without thinking, so it's not been so bad.
How about being leaders of this team? Coach Russell pointed to the two of you. Claire, how comfortable do you feel as a junior in a leadership role with this group?
At this point, I feel like I'm close with most people on the team, so that gives me a way to be able to speak to all my teammates in a way that they can understand and receive the message. So I kind of feel like I have that ability to kind of like get a feel of what the team's emotions are, where they're at, does someone need me to like talk to them more or less, how they like to be like encouraged on the court. I'm kind of like understood all of those things. And when you're friends with your teammates, it's easier for you to like correct them and them not feel personally attacked, like I hate them, I'm a leader, like no, it's kind of like an understanding. So I've kind of got to the point where like I'm easy to be vocal, and it's become like something that's become easier lately.
Alex, how about for you being a senior on this team?
I think I would say I'm in the same boat. I really know how to communicate with my teammates, but I wouldn't say I'm the most vocal on the floor. But I think as I've matured as a player and individual, I felt more comfortable coming into that role as like a vocal leader as well.
Through the challenges of a challenging summer, where do each of you feel like you've improved the most, your game individually, or you hope to see on this black practice floor and on the Robins Center game court?
You wanna go first?
I guess for me, I really wanted to work on becoming a really good three-point shooter. That's off the catch, and more recently trying to be off the dribble. I think that when you become when you're a three-point threat, it opens up the drive, and so I was working on the 3 points, but then I was working on, if they play me for that, then having like another option to go drive and score that way.
Alex, how about for you?
I would say definitely my 3-point game. Coach Russell's really big with being able to, get the easy buckets, which are like 3-pointers, and especially for me, finishing at the basket, that's something I always felt like I had to work on.
Hey, give us a foreshadowing of what we're going to see from the newcomers, the fresh faces. You've alluded to them and how good they already are. Give us a little indication of what we're going to see.
Well,
I would say we have a freshman that could play any position on the floor.
Oh.
We have one for every position, and
yeah.
At the point guard, Grace, I think she's doing a phenomenal job, and then also Addie has really impressed me a lot too.
Yeah, and I find like they're all good shooters, which is so valuable for spacing out the court. I would trust all of them to like shoot the three. They have great attitudes. They're really competitive, sportsman-like, easy to coach. They want to be coached by us, and just really impressed. They all mesh together really well. So we're trying to get them to like be more vocal, like get their confidence there, and it's coming. So yeah, they're talented.
So what are the expectations this year? Let's finish up with that. Alex?
To improve on that, I think this team has a lot of potential, and I think we will definitely be able to reach that bar, set that bar.
Claire?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of games where they were right in our reach. There wasn't a lot of teams that could blow us out. There wasn't any team that I felt like, oh, they're going to kill us this game. So we just need to make that extra push and get the edge to kind of come through on the top of those games.
Looking forward to seeing you out there. Thank you, ladies.
Awesome,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Alex Parson and Claire Holt of the Richmond Spiders.